Hello
Assalamu
again.
alaikum.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hi. How are you, bro? You okay?
Yeah, very good, thanks. Yourself?
Good, good. Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
Um, just saw you streaming, and I thought it's an interesting question regarding the fitra and dying to believe. I was wondering if you could give me a bit more information on that, please.
Yeah, so the fitra we've been speaking about, bro, about the innate disposition or the natural sort of disposition of a human being
Hmm.
that Islam teaches us about. And dying to believe basically is the title of a book that I'm working on currently,
Okay.
which should be out soon, inshallah, which sort of covers my journey from disbelief to Islam.
I thought you always believed.
No, 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 no. There was decades up until my early 20s. Like I was born into a Muslim family,
Hmm.
but brought up in a very sort of secular way. So yeah, there was a point, there's a long period of my life where I was not wouldn't consider myself a believer. I wasn't even interested in the question of God, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you recognize me, but we went to school together. You were
No
always,
way.
yeah, it's the man.
Oh man, I'm trying to think.
Featherstone. I don't know if I should have said that, but
The man's okay, yeah. Bro, I think
it's
so. I
okay.
think I can remember.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, but you always seemed like such a nice guy back then. It seemed like you were pretty much on the path without even being on the path, which is nice. No, it's good that you found it though. So, in regards to the fitra, so you say it's about knowing what God, knowing physical things, knowing about spirituality. In what regard is it knowing?
The fitra covers a couple of things, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, the main thing we're talking about is the belief or the knowing that there is a creator.
Mm-hmm.
There is someone or something that made me, that created me, that sustains me, that I need to worship because it's human nature to worship. We always want to worship or submit to something or the other anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that again, it's a part of our nature. Also, we a base understanding of right and wrong. As I was mentioning to the brother in the Quran, in Surah Shams, there is a verse where God says that he has taught or put within the soul a base understanding of right and wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a basic understanding of good and bad within the human soul as well. Some other people have gone further and said the appreciation for beauty
Mm-hmm.
is something that's also sort of innate and within the human self or the soul itself.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of things, but I think the main thing we were speaking with the brother prior that came on earlier was this notion of how important it is to sort of bring that to the discussion today because we live in such a world that's focused on the empirical side of reality
Mm-hmm.
and seeing is believing, and considers that to be the main form of knowledge. That there are other routes to knowledge,
What other
and
roots?
therefore the fit.
Sorry.
So, for example, testimony is one route to knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
another route to knowledge, right? That's something big in history.
Mm-hmm.
So you need a lot of historians base their work on the testimony of previous history, even in science itself. What something most people don't recognize is when you study the philosophy of science that there's a big aspect of testimony that's involved in the development of science itself,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that the scientists today go by the testimony of the work of the scientists that were prior to them, that lived before them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's necessary. Without that, you're almost starting from scratch over and over again.
Yeah.
So there's testimony, there's philosophy or reasoning,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can say, which is not empirical. Then obviously you have the empirical method itself, and then from an Islamic perspective, we say there's also the fitra, which is an innate knowledge, which
Mm-hmm.
is placed within the human being.
But you
So
said
yeah,
it was
those are three or
clouded, right?
four.
You said it gets clouded as you get
Yeah,
older.
it could be clouded, it could be covered, it could be dormant,
Mm-hmm.
whichever words you want to use, but
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of there within the human self, but
Mm-hmm.
based on our upbringing, our environment, the things we engage with as we grow up, these things may cover a cloud, that fitra, that knowing inside.
What about personal experience?
Yeah, so that's interesting you mentioned that, bro, because currently I'm doing a module, or for my dissertation, I'm looking into they call it religious experience in academia.
Okay.
But you can say personal experience, or even sometimes if people have weird experiences, anomalous experiences,
Mm.
spiritual experiences, you can say as well. I would say that they do transcend the rational,
Yeah.
because they are a part of the supra rational. Now, are they a part of the fitra itself? Possibly, because we are experiencing them through our consciousness and our awareness as human beings. Now, I say consciousness, but depending on how you want to see it,
Mm-hmm.
some would say that the consciousness itself is. that soul that's aware.
Mhm, mhm.
So I would definitely say it's beyond the rational. Experiences are definitely beyond the rational.
Yeah, because I personally think that experiences are like reigniting the fire. It's like it might have, in your analogy, the fitra might have been a fire at the beginning when you were born, and it's gone down to an ember, and then when you
Mm.
have that personal experience, it's like a gush of wind blowing on it, and it just erupts
Wow,
again.
that's a very poetic way of looking at it, bro. That's a beautiful way of putting
I,
it, man.
I like
Honestly,
camping.
that's a very nice analogy, bro. Yeah, it's like the internal flame that's there, and it does, and you notice it amongst a lot of people at some point in their life. They're living their lives, they're doing whatever they're doing, they're enjoying themselves. The hedonistic type of
Yeah,
lifestyle these
yeah.
days. Just have fun, enjoy yourself, do what you want. But at some point, there's something that triggers them
Hmm.
deep down. They know something isn't right. They need to be doing something more. There's something more to this
Hmm.
all, life and existence and all of these things. And I think that in itself is a blessing from God that He's placed this sort of, you can say, a beacon within us,
Hmm.
or an alarm system which goes off when you go too far off track, basically, right? Just to help us come back online. And you notice this amongst people. Everyone goes on a journey throughout their life at some point, at least.
Oh, life
Some
is the
people
journey.
earlier, some people later.
Life is the journey. It's a beautiful thing. I love it.
Demands, man. Bro, I'm still trying to figure it out because
I'll give you my
there's
full
two
name.
names. There's two names. I think I know. I think I know, bro. Is it Damanjeet?
Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes, bro. I remember, man.
yeah.
Oh man, I remember some of the stuff we used to do getting up to back in school.
Oh, what?
How are you, bro?
I
You
don't think
okay?
any of it was that bad, was it?
No, no, we were a bit weird, bro. We
Yeah.
remember we used to go into cemeteries and take we did some experiments with some cameras and stuff, some crazy stuff,
Oh yeah,
man,
yeah.
back in the day.
Oh my god, I complete. Yeah, yeah, we were trying to catch.
Yeah, I remember, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh wow, that was a very long time ago. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Long time ago, man.
I remembered more the class things and the going to the library afterwards, but yeah, I remember doing that as well.
Yeah, yeah, we were like the oddballs in some ways, man.
Yeah, it's good to be
Yes,
the
even
oddball.
back then.
It's good to be the
Yeah, yeah,
oddball.
of course,
You
man.
know, you don't want to be like you just said, like everyone else going down the hedonistic lifestyle, because
Yeah,
if you're an oddball, you kind of create your own identity and you start doing your own thing and trying to find your own path rather than following the path everyone else is following. And
absolutely.
I think it's a good thing. So, in regards to the dying to believe, are you looking to expand on that a little bit? I know it's the book you're writing, but expanding on the
Yeah,
title
yeah,
itself.
yeah, yeah, sure, bro. I could do it because I was going to talk about it at some point anyway
Ah,
today.
sweet.
So I guess it's a good segue. So basically, it's a book. What inspired it basically was a couple of years ago. I saw, because some of these atheist academics,
Hmm.
well, not academics, atheist popularizers like Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris,
Cool.
these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
They've written a lot of books over the past couple of years. And what I noticed was Dawkins changed his style recently, or in one of his previous books, which was Outgrowing God.
Hmm.
And when I went through that book, what I found really interesting was there was no references in it, and it was almost read like a story,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm.
So he was trying to appeal more to the general masses. And I thought, you know what, we don't have a book like that. And I thought, okay, well, I have an experience. Why don't I just write about my life experience in a book? uh, and just
Story
share
form
my
again.
my journey. Exactly, story
Yeah.
form again,
Yeah, yeah,
almost
yeah.
like a personal uh, biography slash story type book, sharing my journey. So that's what that is, and that type of genre didn't exist within the Islamic Dawa literature.
Hmm.
It's not there.
Hmm.
We have some good academic books now, but we don't have anything on in that type of genre, that type of story type format. So that was the sort of thinking behind it, and that's why I decided to do that.
Something
So
relatable, something to inspire. Yeah, yeah, I like it. I
yeah,
like it.
something someone could connect with, because I'm sure,
Exactly.
many people have the experiences I had, because there was a long period, bro, where I went through a really low phase.
Hmm.
And, you can classify as a depression or an existential uh, crises.
Hmm.
Um, so just my experience of that, what I went through, what the answers, where I looked for the answers. And for me, mainly it was about like I said, the existential crisis, which was, well, why do I exist? What is this life all about? What am I doing here? Where am I going?
Hmm. Hmm.
Why do anything? Why wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, and go work? Aren't these just ideas people have told me that I've grown up thinking?
Yeah.
Just watching people around me do those things and just following along. So I was troubled by these things for many years, bro. Many, and I think, let me think back, bro. I think it started in high school, to be honest, bro.
Oh
But I
damn.
didn't mention it to anyone. Yeah, I didn't mention it to anyone, and then it lasted till up to my 20s, bro. Early 20s, 21.
Mm.
So that's quite a long stretch, bro. About a decade or so. Maybe a bit less. So yeah, it was just that journey. So I just share that journey in the book itself.
And you found your
And
answers.
existentialism,
Sorry.
yeah, 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 absolutely, bro. I'm alhamdulillah, like we say, thanks, all praises due to God. I found my answers, um, but it was a difficult road and a journey, like I said, man. And that's what got me really interested into the existential stuff and the existentialist philosophers and the meaning of life and all of this type of stuff. That's what I focused on over the past couple of years. So yeah, man, that's what the book is about.
Okay.
Um,
The best things don't come easy. The best things never come easy. And something I'd like to say is like you don't know hot until you know cold. You have to have the
yeah,
lows to know the highs and appreciate the highs for what they are. So when you do
yeah,
finally reconnect with God and stuff, it's that's that much sweeter than just being born into this kind of belief system. Because then you're always thinking about what if, why can't I be like everyone else? When you go from the lows to the highs, it's much more powerful.
yeah, yeah. Because you once you when the ego experiences the low, because you know the ego, bro. Human beings, when we have a lot, we become deluded and distracted by life, man, and the good things in life, right? It's only when the ego is broken and is smashed to pieces, and you're rock bottom. That's when you. That's the. It's like when you're in a desert, bro, without any water, and you're thirsty, and you're dying, right?
Mm.
And you get that sip of water. You
Tastes
appreciate that like you've never ever appreciated water before.
like
So
liquid
that's the
gold.
state of.
Yeah,
Exactly, man. Yeah, absolutely. It's life, literally, at that point.
yeah.
So when you're in that existential space where you're spiritually and psychologically just dying,
Mm.
dead, and you get that ray of hope and that, uh, the answers, that knowledge, that information, the way you appreciate and understand it, then it's not like when you're comfortable and everything is good.
Yeah, amazing. Uh,
Bro, listen, I'm gonna share my number with you in the private chat. Yeah,
oh,
let's
awesome.
catch up, man.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Just before you go, I just wanted to give one bit of advice, which is slipping my mind. Oh yes, I remember it. One bit of advice in order to reignite the fitra is appreciate. Like you just said with the desert analogy, only when you really truly appreciate everything God has given us, that's when you start getting that reignition of,
Reignition, yeah.
yeah, reignition of the soul.
It's one of those
Yeah.
tongue twisters.
Because I think, like you said, we take a lot of things for granted. When we've got water on tap, literally, when we've got food at the supermarkets ready to go, when when we eat, we're thinking, oh yeah, this is great tasting. Thanks God for giving me a great food because it tastes great. But we forget about, hey, it took farmers to grow this. It took people to transport it. It took people to put
Mm.
it on the shelves, people to sell it, and don't forget the light that came from the sun to allow it to grow. Like there's so much in this system that we just don't appreciate because it's all kind of like quick living, quick living, quick living, that we just stuff our faces and move on. So yeah, appreciation is what I would share as a lesson in regards to
No,
fitra.
that's a powerful one, bro. So thank you for sharing that.
No, no
That
worries.
because it reminds me of there's an amazing story in the 18th chapter of the Quran where God speaks about two gardeners,
Hmm.
and one of the gardeners, they're both friends. One of them has a lot of wealth. He has these amazing gardens and date palms and everything, and the other one has some stuff, but not as much.
Hmm.
And the one that's really wealthy becomes very deluded at a point, and he says, "You know what? I don't think this is ever going to be taken away from me. I have much more than you. I've been blessed. And he's like, even if the day of judgment comes, which I don't think is going to come, I think God's going to give me even more because He loves me so much." And he just becomes really deluded.
Yeah.
And his friend keeps telling him, "Look, don't lose gratitude. Don't forget where you got all of this from, where it all came from." But he doesn't understand because that delusion's become too much. And
Mm.
what it takes is for everything to be taken away from him, and then he realizes,
Yeah.
after if it's taken away from him. And unfortunately, most of us, we fall into this, isn't it, bro? It's like,
Very easily
eh,
done. Very easily
it's
done.
like we sometimes we God needs to break us for us to,
For
fix
him
up.
to build us back up,
Yeah,
because
if
that's
we can only fix ourselves without going through that trial, man.
no,
But that's the challenge,
but
isn't
then
it,
it
bro?
wouldn't be so great. It wouldn't be so sweet.
Yeah,
Ah, I love it. I love it. I appreciate you spending time talking to me. We'll have a look
nah,
for the
likewise, man.
number. I have been watching a
Yeah,
few
it's in the private
videos.
chat.
I have been watching a few of your videos, and I like what you're saying. I like your style, and yeah, hopefully we could have another chat in the future.
Yeah, definitely, bro. You brought back memories, man.
You
I was
for
giving
me
an
as well.
example of literally, bro. I tell you, this is the last thing. I just
Yeah,
before you, the guy that came on, I gave him an example of the fitra. I said to give people an appreciation of the fitra, ask them to quickly think of their childhood friend or their favorite toy. I mean, who writes the script, bro? This is
He writes
honestly,
the script. He writes the script.
absolutely,
Everything
bro.
maktub.
Yeah, and literally right after that, you come on and are like childhood friend. Crazy, man. It's just the way things work. SubhanAllah, it's crazy, man. Anyway, bro, I'm gonna get on with it. I'm gonna go to the next brother. He's been waiting
No worries, no worries. I
on
appreciate
the
you.
stream. But take my number, bro.